Let's start with the first part. It says to place a check mark by the sentences with a compound predicate. That means that it tells us two things that the subject is doing, or it tells us two things about that subject. Sentence 1 says, alligators have lived on Earth for millions of years. Who can tell me if sentence 1 should get a check mark or if sentence 1 does not get a check mark? Kylie, what do you say? Check mark or no check mark?
No check mark.
No check mark. They only tell us one thing about alligators, so this sentence does not have a compound predicate. Sentence 2. Alligators are reptiles and can weigh over 1,000 pounds. Alligators are reptiles and can weigh over 1,000 pounds. Who can tell me, does sentence 2 get a check mark or no check mark? Jadine, what do you say? Check mark, no check mark? Yes, sentence 2 does get a check mark. It's telling us two things about alligators. Number 1, they are reptiles, and number 2, they can weigh over 1,000 pounds. Sentence 3. You're right, it has the word and, which is a pretty big clue. Sentence 3. Alligators eat fish, turtles, birds, and deer. Alligators eat fish, turtles, birds, and deer. Jaylene, what do you think? Check mark or no check mark?
Check mark.
This one was tricky. This one, no check mark. Like I told you all, if it has the word and, it's a big clue, but it's not 100%. Even though this has the word and, it's only telling us a list of what they eat. That's the only reason why the word and is there, because it's part of a list. They're telling us that they eat all of these things. They eat fish, they eat turtles, they eat birds, they eat deer. But all of these are things that they eat, all part of the same predicate. Now, if it told us they eat fish, turtles, birds, and deer, and they, I don't know, and they lay eggs, then that would be a compound predicate. But since this is all just a list of things that they eat, it all has to do with eating. It's the same predicate. It gets no check mark. That's good, Chase. But make sure, again, the word and is a big clue, big clue, but it's not 100%. It's not just put a check mark if the word and is in the sentence. But this was a tricky one, because so far, all the other ones that we put a check mark have that word and. So don't let that confuse you. Make sure it has to tell you two different things about that subject. All right, our second part. We have some verbs. We're going to change them into nouns. We need to add endings to them, either S-I-O-N, T-I-O-N, or I-O-N. And our first verb was decorate. Put stuff up on the walls, make it look nice. It starts out the same, D-E-C-O-R-A-T. We get rid of the E, and we add what kind of ending here? Should I add S-I-O-N, T-I-O-N, or I-O-N? Who can tell me? What kind of ending should I add for decorate? What ending does it need? S-I-O-N, T-I-O-N, or I-O-N? Jada, what do you think? What kind of ending does decorate need? You're right. It's just I-O-N because there's already a T there. I don't want to put a second one. So it's just I-O-N. What about complicate? Again, the beginning of it is the same. C-O-M-P-L-I-C-A-T-E. And just like in decorate, I get rid of the E. Don't need it. But I do need to change that ending. Who can tell me? Would it be SION, TION, or ION for the ending? What ending do I need for complicate? SION, TION, or ION? What do you think, Violet? What kind of ending would complicate need?
SION.
SION, not an SION. What do you think between the two that are left, Violet? Do I need TION or ION?
ION.
ION. I don't need the TION because there's already a T. So it's just ION. And it can be kind of tough because all of these make that same kind of sound at the end. But words like decorate or complicate, if you notice that they have like a TE at the end, you just get rid of the E and you add ION when you make it a noun. There's a pattern there. Now we have conclude. CONCLUD. Just like these ones, we get rid of the E when we're going to add one of our endings. And we're either going to add SION, TION, or ION. Oh, actually, you know what? We don't even need the D here. It's just CON, CLU, and then I need an ending. SION, TION, or ION. Jadine, what do you think? What ending do you need? Which one of our three endings? Very good. SION. So again, it is kind of tricky kind of figuring out which one to use, but for conclude, we get rid of the E and we get rid of the D, and we put SION. Oh, so you had an early start to your day today, Alexa. All right, let's look at our sentence. Alligators are found only in the United States and China. Alligators are found only in the United States and China. Who can tell me what do I need to... Okay, Gideon, you already found a mistake to fix. What's a mistake? One mistake that they made in this sentence.
To capitalize alligator, there's a period.
Oh, hold on,
And
just
there's
one
a...
mistake. We want to leave some for other people too.
Okay.
So, alligators needs to be capitalized Y. Why is alligator capitalized, Gideon?
Because it's a name of something.
Not because it's the name, but look where it is. Why are we capitalizing it?
Oh, it's at the beginning.
At the beginning, because alligators isn't really their name, right? Like if I went to
Yeah.
a group of alligators and I went, hey, alligator, only one of them is going to go, that's my name. And the one next to it's going to go, my name's Steve. It's not because his name is alligator or their name is alligator. It's because it's the very first word in our sentence. And no matter what the first word is, it always gets capitalized. We do capitalize alligators. Who can tell me another mistake that they have in this sentence? Nakai? What's another mistake?
The another mistake is that you need to switch found and only.
I could, but it's not a mistake the way it is. So I could say alligators are found only in the United States and China, or I could say alligators are only found in the United States and China. Either way is okay. So I could fix it, I could swap it, but it's not a mistake the way it is. It's not wrong. Now, we might think it sounds a little bit better the other way, but that's Kind of up to you.
Capitalized United States.
Capitalized United States. Why?
Because it's the name of a state and
Not a state, but something else. Something with a C.
oh no,
It's the name of something.
country.
There you go, country. United States is the name of a country. Needs to be capitalized. Who can find another mistake for me? Violet, what's another one?
You need to capitalize the C in China
Why?
because it's a name of a country.
Absolutely. Name of a country, just like United States, needs to be capitalized. One more mistake. Who can find the last mistake for me in this sentence? We capitalized alligators. We capitalized United States. Capitalized China. Alexa, what's the last mistake that we're missing?
Put a period in the end of the sentence.
We need a period at the end of the sentence. Now, Nakai, I want to talk about what you mentioned earlier. If you put only first and found afterwards, that's okay. But since it's not a mistake, we're not going to change it, or I'm not going to change it, only because that's the way they wanted it to be written. Okay? So if you did change it, it's not a big deal. If you didn't change it, not a big deal. It really just depends on how you want it. Kind of like how some people like ketchup on their fries and some people don't. It just depends on what you like. But neither way is wrong. So capital. Alligators are found only in the capital United States and capital China, period. And again, if you put only found, you're okay. All right. Next part, adverbs and verbs. So verbs are our action words, things that we're doing or that are happening. Adverbs are the describing words. They tell us how that's happening or when it's happening. For sentence number 1, Carter rarely watches television. This one's tricky, so I want to see what we came up with. What's the verb? What's the action in sentence 1? Kylie, what's the action in sentence 1? What's that verb?
Watching.
Watching. Very good. That's kind of a tough one because watching, you don't really move around a whole lot. So people kind of forget it's an action. Kylie, what word is describing watches?
Mm.
We've got 3 other words in that sentence. Harder, rarely, and television. What word is describing watches?
Rarely?
Very good. Rarely. And Kylie, do you know what rarely means?
No.
No? Who can help her out? What does rarely mean? Christopher, what do you think rarely means?
Like rarely, like barely, like watch television.
That's actually not a bad guess. It's kind of like saying barely. When you say rarely, you mean almost never. It almost never happens. So I'll give you an example. If, let's say, you go to, let's say you really like something like, I'll say Whataburger, right? You really like Whataburger, but let's say that mom or dad doesn't. So you don't really get to go a whole lot. Maybe you get to go like one time every 2 weeks or one time a month. You get to go to Whataburger. So you could say we rarely go there because it doesn't happen all the time. It happens very, very infrequently. Or if we're talking about the weather around here, we could say that it rarely rains because most days around here in El Paso, we have nice sunny weather, right? Sometimes it's hot, but it's usually nice and sunny and clear. And only occasionally do we get like rainy days or things like that. So we could say that it rarely rains in El Paso because it doesn't happen a whole lot. So saying barely is kind of close, Christopher. It means that it doesn't happen all the time. Now, if you went to Whataburger every other day or 3 times a week, you couldn't say, oh, it's really rare for us to come here because you're always there. Or if we live someplace where it rained every day, we couldn't say that it rarely rains because it's raining all the time or most of the time. Okay, question two, or sentence two. Sorry, not question. The Spanish doubloons mysteriously disappeared. The Spanish doubloons mysteriously disappeared. Who can tell me for sentence two, what's the action? What's the action for sentence? Christopher, what's the action?
Mysteriously?
No, not mysteriously. What's happening? What's the action in that sentence? The Spanish doubloons mysteriously disappeared. Disappeared. That's our action. What does disappeared mean, Christopher?
Like, disappeared means like they're not there, like they're gone.
Like they're gone. So they were there and then poof, gone. That's what it means. Now, Christopher, what word is describing how or when they disappear?
Is it this time it's mysteriously?
This time it's mysteriously. And what does that mean, Christopher, if they say mysteriously?
Like a mystery?
It's like a mystery. You don't really know you don't really know how it happened. Now, if you see someone go over and grab a handful of them and walk out, it's not a mystery, right? You know what happened. But if it says that they mysteriously disappeared, that means that they were there and then nobody went over and grabbed them. They didn't get put away or anything. They were there and then they weren't. You're not sure how they went away. Sentence 3, the family regularly eats dinner together. What's the action? Sentence 3. The family regularly eats dinner together. What's the action? Family regularly eats dinner together. Noah, what's the action?
Eats.
Eats. Eats is my action. And Noah, what word is describing?
Dinner.
No, not dinner. Dinner is what they're eating. It's a noun. It's a thing, right? So if it can't be dinner, that means it's either the family regularly or together. Which one do you think, Noah?
Together.
Together. Together could be. But there's another one that I'm looking at. So I could say together. Together works. But there's a second one here. Another one that I'm looking at. Who thinks they know what that other one is? The other word that's describing eats. Christopher?
Family.
No, not family. Family's a noun. It's people,
Regularly?
right? Regularly. Regularly is like the opposite of rarely. Regularly means all the time. Okay. And the last part, we have 2 sentences. We want to combine them into one. The two sentences for today are: male alligator eggs are laid in warm weather. Female alligator eggs are laid in cold weather. Those are the two sentences. Male alligator eggs, not legs. They don't lay legs. Male alligator eggs are laid in warm weather. Female alligator eggs are laid in cold weather. We have two answer choices, A and B. A says male alligator eggs are laid in warm weather and female alligator eggs are laid in cold weather. B says male alligator eggs are laid in warm weather and the female eggs are laid in cold weather. Haley, what do you think? Should I pick A or should I pick B? What do you say, Kaylee? A or B? A. So A is close, but I like answer choice B better. There's one difference between answer choice A and B that makes B the better answer choice. Who knows what that difference is? What does answer choice B have that makes it better than answer choice A? Kylie, what makes answer choice B better than answer choice A?
It has a fanboy and a
And what? What do we call it? Starts with a C.
it's called commas.
Perfect.
Comma.
It's got a comma and our fanboy word. Very, very good. And answer choice A was so close. So close. But they forgot the comma.
It's
So my answer.
a fanboy. The comma.
Yep. So they had the fanboy word, they just forgot the comma. But answer choice B didn't. So it's the better answer choice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and show the whole page for you. And you can go ahead and take the time, fix whatever answer choices or whatever things we need to fix. And then when you're finished, go ahead and turn it in.